Some breaking news from the UK. Travel into the country is set to be affected by a workers' strike over the busy Christmas period. The border force at several major airports, including Heathrow and Gatwick, will walk off the job from December 23rd. Let's bring in Al Jazeera's Paul Brennan, who joins us live from London. This is really going to upset a lot of travel plans, isn't it?
It's certainly going to jeopardise the getaway plans for, well, hundreds of thousands of people because of the width and breadth of the strike action that the PCS union are planning. These are border force workers. They're employed by the Home Office. They're public sector workers working at airports. And the dates that we're talking about are essentially the peak times that people will be wanting to either get away for a bit of winter sun or perhaps return home to their home countries to see their families after having spent time working here in the UK. The dates are from the December 23rd all the way through to New Year's Eve. We're talking about hundreds of thousands of people who are going to be affected. Border Force basically saying that they've met with the government, but they're rejecting a 2% pay rise that the government had offered. Mark Sawatka, the union boss, saying they keep saying the door is open, but there's a very strange door because there's nothing behind it. It's simply the government offer not enough for the union. In response, the Heathrow Airport spokesman has said, we're working closely with airlines to try to mitigate the impact. Passengers are advised to check their flight status with their airline. But we're talking about Gatwick, Heathrow, which is the UK's busiest airport, Manchester, Birmingham and Cardiff airports, all of them impacted over this critical Christmas period. And
this isn't the only industrial action that's taking place over the busy Christmas period, is it?
Now, we really are in an autumn of discontent, heading into a winter of discontent, to use that well-known phrase. What we essentially have is many, many years of stagnant wage increases, increases in low single figures, at the same time as inflation has in the past year rocketed. We're talking about grocery inflation currently running at around 14%. So the prices are going up by 14% year on year. We're talking about CPI, consumer price inflation, running at 11%, and wage increases running far below that, such as that people who are even in employment are struggling to make ends meet, never mind those people who are unemployed. Now, the government is struggling to meet the pay demands of public sector workers, but even private sector workers are also complaining, and there have been a wave of strike actions across many different areas of the economy. Nurses will go out on strike for the first time ever next week. We're talking about ambulance staff as well. We're talking about baggage handlers at airports. Rail workers have also been out on strike for most of this year intermittently. There is a cost of living crisis here in the UK that is really putting the squeeze on hard-working people, and they're simply not happy they're not prepared to put up with it anymore.
Al Jazeera's Paul Brennan reporting live from London. Paul, many thanks indeed.